After their disastrous opening day on Tuesday, Donald Trump's legal team has been scrambling to make good. Defense attorney David Schoen was on Trump TV this afternoon, even as the trial was going on, promising they'll deliver when they make their case tomorrow. They're expected to claim Trump's words fall under the First Amendment and to keep raising the question of constitutionality, even though the Senate already settled that matter on Tuesday. Here with me now, a man who has taken on Trump's legal teams all across the country since Election Day, beating the former president in court over and over again on behalf of the Democratic Party, voting rights expert Mark Elias. Mark, we thought you'd be a good person to talk to because you've squared off with lawyers for the former president. What have you learned from that? What do you anticipate tomorrow?
Well, so what we've learned is that lawyers who represent the president oftentimes don't tell the entire truth. In fact, they don't tell much of the truth at all. He has a tendency to choose lawyers who say what he wants them to say, as opposed to making the most effective argument. So I suspect that just as we didn't see the best lawyering that the well of the Senate has ever seen a couple of days ago, we'll see more of the same.
So there's some reporting that they're going to focus on this constitutional question. I think it's sort of important to hit this home. I mean, this is not a court, but if it were a court and say you had a motion to dismiss, motion for summary judgment and failed on that, after that happens, you don't get to go back and keep working on the motion to dismiss, motion for summary judgment. Like, that ship sailed. That's done. It seems like they're going to just keep banging on about that.
Yeah, I mean, not unless you want to get sanctioned, right? Not unless you want the judge to read you the Riot Act. I mean, look, first of all, the jurisdictional argument that they made is borderline frivolous to begin with. I mean, you don't have to take that from me. You can take that from the conservative Federalist Society types who have themselves said that the jurisdictional argument is frivolous. But to then make that argument after the Senate has already ruled on it is beyond frivolous. It's insulting. And I assume that the reason why they're going to do this is two things. Number one, they don't have anything else to say.
Right.
And number two, they figure that the Republican senators are going to leave their courage at the door and are going to support them anyway.
Yeah, and we should say that Jamie Raskin, I thought, had a good, he made this point. It's over today. Take a quick listen.
It has already been decided by the Senate on Tuesday that the Senate has constitutional jurisdiction over this impeachment case brought to you by the United States House of Representatives. So we've put that jurisdictional constitutional issue to bed. It is over.
So there's the jurisdictional thing. I think they'll keep banging on. They'll do a lot of whataboutism, I think. The only legitimate possible defense to me, it seems, is just say, like, he just didn't realize what he was doing or how bad it was. He was out there, he just didn't know. It seems like the only thin, plausible defense they could come up with.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's that plausible, though.
Right.
He did know. Donald Trump knew exactly what he was doing.
Right.
Donald Trump was getting exactly what he wants. And we focused a lot in the last week on the lies that he propagated about whether there was fraud in the election, and court after court found there wasn't. But there was a big, huge lie at the end, which was that somehow Donald Trump, was going to prevent the certification of the election in the Congress because Mike Pence was going to do some magical war dance and not certify. And that lie led to the death of individuals on January 6th. And so they can say whatever they want, but that is just the cold truth.
And that point, we hit this a bit yesterday, that lie, that specific idea that Mike Pence is the fulcrum upon which all depends, is a Donald Trump original. Like, that's him. There's no one else running around saying it comes down to Mike Pence.
That's exactly right. And that's why, Chris, that's the biggest lie of all. And it's the most important and it's most damning for the president, because only he was propagating that lie. And that's the lie that led to the storming of the Capitol. That's the lie that led to Mike Pence having to flee the Capitol while people were chanting for his death and while they were hanging nooses outside. And that's on Donald Trump 100%.